It was only a joke to begin with. When they came out of the restaurant after lunch, it was raining heavily. "I don't think I'll walk to the station with you after all," he said. His office was nearby. She had a train to catch. "I should think not," she agreed. "I'll wait under this awning until it stops." "Well, suppose it doesn't." And then he laughed. "I tell you what I'll do. When I drive home tonight, if it hasn't stopped and you're still standing there, I'll give you a lift to the station." She burst out laughing too, and they were both smiling as he walked away in the rain, leaving her standing under the restaurant's awning. The rain did not stop, but when, as darkness was falling, he began to drive home, he certainly didn't expect her still to be standing there. Yet she was. It gave him quite a shock to see the glimmer of her green coat in the shadows and the shine of her dark, smooth hair. Had she really waited there for 4 hours or so, rather than take the risk of getting wet? It wasn't like her somehow. She wasn't that sort of fussy, finicky woman afraid of a spot of rain. He drew up at the curb. "Hop in, quick, I'm not supposed to stop here." Very quickly and quietly she got into the back of the car. "So you waited for me?" he said, obviously. She didn't speak. He felt uneasy. She wouldn't really have waited because of the rain. I mean, that was only a joke. There must be some other reason. What was she up to? Their friendship was only a business one, and they weren't lovers. Yet as he was married to a jealous wife, he always felt the need for caution where other women were concerned. He couldn't even smile at a barmaid without his wife accusing him of trying to get off with her. Yet here he was with this woman friend, sitting in the back of his car. He guessed now that she must have gone elsewhere during the afternoon and come back specially to see him again. But why? If she thought of something urgent to tell him, she could have telephoned. "Why did you wait to see me?" he asked. There was no answer. He didn't dare to look round, as he had to keep his eyes on the road, and for some reason he couldn't see her in the mirror to make out any expression on her face. Suddenly he got into such a tangle of rush-hour traffic that he had to concentrate entirely on driving and half forgot the presence of his passenger. Then they stuck behind a red light. The rain was battering on the roof and the other traffic swishing and snuffling all around. "I love you," she said. He froze, pretended not to hear, then said in a businesslike tone, "If you nip out quickly, you could make a dash for the station from here." He turned to look at her, but she'd already gone. He hadn't heard the car door open and close, but that wasn't surprising amid all the extraneous noise. Had she really said, "I love you"? Or had he misheard? Maybe she'd only said, "I'll leave you," meaning that she was going to get out and run through the rain to the station. He peered through the window, but he couldn't see her among the many drenched, scurrying figures converging on the station. "I love you." She had said that. He knew it really. She had. How extraordinary. Had she been a bit drunk, maybe? It's difficult to know what to think when someone acts completely out of character, or what you thought was out of character. So many secrets behind closed faces. He felt callous now for pretending not to hear, but it had been embarrassing. It had also been rather exciting. He couldn't remember anyone having said it to him before, except his wife before they were married. Since then, her frequent cry had been, "You don't really love me." And he, parrot fashion, said, "Of course I do." Such conversations are the surest love killers. When he arrived home at last, late because of the rain and the traffic delays, he didn't mention the incident in the car, naturally. But as if by some weird jealousy telepathy, his wife asked him at supper time, "What do you do in your lunch hour?" "Have lunch." "Alone?" "Sometimes. Other times I lunch with business contacts." "Or girlfriends?" "You're my only girlfriend." Oh, the boredom of it. "How am I to know that?" "Because I tell you so." "You expect me to believe you?" "Yes." Diddy heck. "I don't lie to you." "Did you have lunch with a woman today?" "Yeah, I did, as a matter of fact. A translator who works for us." "Was she pretty?" "Fairly." "Young?" "Oh, about your age, mid-30s. "Married?" "No." "Are you having an affair with her?" "Of course not." "Are you in love with her, then?" "I am not." "Is she in love with you?" On any other evening he would have said a certain no. But because of the strange car journey, he hesitated. So she is half flattering for you. No, of course she's not. You didn't deny it straight away. This conversation is ridiculous. Oh, so now I'm ridiculous. Where did you go with her after lunch? I did not go anywhere with her. I returned to the office. But when I telephoned your office, you weren't there. I was there, he said. If you really had telephoned, you'd have been put through to me. She reddened. She hadn't phoned, of course. She'd been trying to catch him out. He suddenly felt sad and sickened. He pushed his plate aside. You haven't finished. I suppose you had such a rich and gorgeous lunch with this translator woman that my humble cooking isn't good enough. Oh, for God's sake! He turned on the television and pretended to watch it for the rest of the evening. But he kept seeing the other woman in his mind's eye and feeling worried about her. Why had she acted out of character and then vanished so suddenly? Next day at the office, he dialed her number. She worked at home, so he was surprised when she didn't answer the phone. He tried several more times during the day, still no reply. Next day, he tried again. This time a man answered. It was her landlord. She was in an accident the day before yesterday, poor woman, the man told him. Knocked over by a car when she was running to the station in the rain. The police identified her and came here last night. My God. Is she badly hurt? She's dead, sir. Dead? He went cold with shock. Yeah, afraid so. Bloody motorist. Killed outright, the police said. He remembered saying to her, if you nip out quickly, you can make a dash for the station from here. But if she'd been knocked over, he'd have known. Traffic held up. Ambulance sirens. Or had he already driven on when it happened? What time was the accident? Early evening? He asked. No, just after 2:30 in the afternoon. But it couldn't have been then. Well, that's what the police told me, the landlord said. You could check up with them yourself. He did check. It was true. She'd been knocked down by a car, not after he had given her the lift in the rain, but much earlier. 2:35. Only 15 minutes after he had left her standing under that awning, laughing at his joke. He felt shattered. Not only by her death, but by the fact that he had given her a lift when he couldn't possibly have done. Not possibly. He must have hallucinated the whole thing. Thank goodness he hadn't mentioned it to anyone. They'd think he'd gone round the twist. Had he? Or had his passenger, in fact, been someone else who just happened to look very like her? He didn't really think this, but he tried to think it. It was easier to live with than the notion that he'd been seeing things and hearing things like, I love you. There was another surprise in store for him. She'd made a will and left him everything. It wasn't all that much. Translators don't get rich, but it was all she had. He hadn't spoken to his wife of the woman's death, but now that this money had turned up, he had to tell her where it had come from. They had a joint account, and he wasn't the sort of man to keep a secret hoard just for himself. She's left you all her money, his wife exclaimed. Well, I'm sorry she's dead and all that, but it proves it. Proves what? That you were having an affair with her, of course. I was not having an affair with her. She translated some of our stuff for the foreign market. That's all. There was nothing between us. Nothing. The woman had said, I love you. Had she then been in love with him all the time and he never guessed? She'd never even made a pass at her, nor had she invited it. Had he wanted to sometimes? Well, he was only human. Now he damn well wished he had. He had a miserable sense of might have been. Mercifully, his wife did not go on about it after her first outburst. Even she must have considered it pretty futile to be jealous of a dead woman. But in fact, she had cause to be jealous now, in a sense, because he brooded endlessly about the other woman. He couldn't get over that mysterious lift in the rain. Had she somehow managed to, well, wait, just so that she could tell him of her love? He kept on thinking about her, and a shiver ran through him every time he passed the restaurant where they'd had their last lunch together. He was actually afraid of seeing her again, standing under the awning. When it rained, he half believed he did see her standing there. Once he even stopped the car when he saw the glimmer of her green coat, but that turned out to be the reflection of a green traffic light on the wet pavement. He was haunted, and something must be done. So one day, he went to the restaurant again for lunch. He went alone, but imagined that she was with him. Indeed, he thought about her so intensely that it almost seemed as if she was there. He half heard her voice in his mind's ear, and he talked to her silently, articulating the words in his head, trying to thank her for her love, saying that he was sorry if she'd suffered, that maybe if circumstances had been different, he and she, well, he concluded his silent appeal by asking her if she'd please let him stop thinking about her all the time. Perhaps one day, in some never-never land, things would be different. This odd little contemplative session seemed to do him good. He did feel freer by the time he'd finished his meal. As he was leaving, a business acquaintance was also on the way out. Feeling lighter of heart than for some time, he greeted the other man with, "Hello, I've been lunching by yourself? You could have joined me, or didn't you see me?" "I saw you, all right," said the other man with a wink. "Very nice, too. Who was she?" "Who?" "Your lunch companion, of course. The dark woman in the green coat. You lucky devil. I wish someone would kiss me so sweetly and affectionately when saying goodbye. She gone on ahead somewhere?" "Yes," he said. "She's gone on ahead. Somewhere."